Welcome back, everyone. Well, Election Day is finally upon us, and this morning we have our usual suspects in studio for analysis. Bill Vickery is a Republican strategist, and Bill Gwatney is a former Democratic state senator. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you.
I know what you're going to say, but tell me what is happening internally in the BB camp and ASA camp. What are they saying this morning, Mr. Gwatney?
Well, I think this morning Mike and Ginger BB are probably going to rest and relax. They've run a very long and hard campaign. They've been to a lot of small towns. I'll be honest with you, they've gone to places I didn't even know existed in Arkansas, and I've lived here all my life.
They're confident, though?
I think they're happy with the campaign they ran. They're confident. Yes, they're confident, but nobody at this point, I mean, that's ever run for office will tell you, will wake up the day of an election and say, I'm going to win. Today, they need their voters to get out and vote.
Was it a good idea for President Bush to come here when other candidates across the country decided to distance themselves at the last minute?
I think a couple of things happened. One, John Kerry happened, which was just another colossal gift for the national Republicans, and it energized the Republican Party base. I think that's why you saw the president come to Northwest Arkansas, where there are traditionally more Republicans. So his schedule got busy very quickly. So I think it was a good move for the Hutchinson campaign. It was a good event. They had 4,000 or 5,000 people up there, so it was a good day for them. I would kind of echo with what Bill said. There are no Terrell Owens in politics on Election Day. Everybody is a half a vote away from humility, very focused on everything. So I think you'll see it be kind of a quiet day for the Hutchinsons as well. And everything's done, and now it's just time to wait for the results.
Is it going to be tighter than what we've seen in the polls? I think out of 20 polls, 2 had ASA up, but the rest had BB. Or is this tighter than what people think?
I would say that's not. I mean, it's become a kind of a revelation nationally where you see races tightening up, but that always happens, especially in an environment where you have a diminished voter turnout. In spite of all the early voting, what we see is people early vote now, but it doesn't necessarily inflate the overall total number of votes. So when you have a diminished voter turnout environment, it naturally means the race is going to be a little closer. So everything, as Bill can tell you, everything tightens up down the stretch.
Did Nick Wilson hurt Mr. Beebe?
Well, I was in the Senate when that whole situation occurred, and I can tell you nobody knew what was going to happen with Nick Wilson. If you'll go back and read the governor's own veto letter, the reason he vetoed the bill was because the money was going to come out of Central Services Fund, which is a sum of money that's taken straight off the top of general revenue, and that money funds the mansion, it funds executive government, Secretary of State, and so that's where the money was going to come from. If Governor Huckabee took the time to go back and read his own veto letter, it wasn't because he smelled something or he was wise to something. It was because Nick Wilson was going to fund the ad litem program, which would have helped children through the Central Services Fund, and that's what's spelled out in his veto letter.
But you don't think Arkansans, when they look at that ad, and it's very simple out there, aren't going to be persuaded in a sense?
I don't know that anybody really knows who Nick Wilson is anymore.
Well, I would say this. A lot of guys served in the state Senate. Bill served honorably for a long period of time and did a good job. There wasn't, at that time, though, sort of an air of corruption, and we saw people go to prison. So there was that general perception that's out there. Now, does that hang around someone's neck because they happened to serve at that time and were involved in what was going on? Maybe so. That's yet to be seen, but it is an issue, yes.
We're going to talk more about ads. I'm being told to wrap. Stick around. We have a lot more to talk about.